Well, good morning. As David said, my name is Leslie Krueger, and I am the Director of Research Data here at Texas A&M University. And I'm excited this morning to be filling in for this Answers for You presentation to talk to you about the responsible stewardship of research data and to share with you just a couple of the resources that are available to you here at TAMU to help you out with your research data throughout the data lifecycle and your research project lifecycle. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what are research data? What are we talking about when we say research data? Well, the Office of Management and Budget defines research data as the recorded factual material commonly accepted in the scientific community as necessary to validate research findings. Well, what does that mean? Some examples of research data are research notes, your laboratory notebooks, textual information, images, audio and video recordings, diagrams, other recorded information necessary for the reconstruction and evaluation of reported results of research. This also includes your protocols, charts, graphs, and other information and events that lead to results. What would be excluded from research data are your preliminary analysis, drafts of scientific papers, plans for future research, peer reviews, and communications with colleagues. So now let's talk about why responsible stewardship of research data is important. By this point, everybody has heard about the FAIR Guiding Principles for Scientific Data Management and Stewardship published in 2016. We really want to make sure that our research data are fair, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. The FAIR principles form the core of data stewardship, bringing several key benefits. And by adopting them, researchers not only enhance the rigor of their work, but also build public trust in research and innovation, ultimately amplifying the impact of the research. So these principles were designed as a flexible framework, but their true value lies in supporting the broader goals of rigorous and meaningful research. And as this landscape has evolved over the years, you, I'm sure, have seen this requirement for fair research data, and you're seeing that journals and funding agencies are updating their policies to align with these emerging standards. So going even more deeply into why responsible stewardship of research data is important, we'll see here that research data stewardship involves the conscientious management and preservation of data to ensure its accuracy, integrity, and long-term usability. By adhering to robust data stewardship practices, researchers can facilitate collaboration, bolster the reproducibility of findings, and uphold ethical and regulatory standards. Additionally, through data documentation and organization, minimizing the risk of data loss, and fostering innovation by allowing other scholars to reuse and reanalyze data sets. Ultimately, data stewardship is fundamental to advancing scientific knowledge and maintaining public trust in research. The bulk of our presentation today, I'm going to be sharing with you services that TAMU libraries, you may or may not know of these services already. The TAMU libraries and TAMU technology services offer. I'm going to take you directly to their websites. This is going to be a very high level promotion of those services. And in my research over the past couple of months, I've discovered that not everybody is aware. So these services are available across TAMU campus to all researchers, anybody in a researcher role, faculty, students. And I'm also today going to point to the TAMU SAP, the Responsible Stewardship of Research Data, as a resource as well. This SAP does a great job of defining what our roles and responsibilities are and directing you to other other SAPs or other services or functions within the university if you have questions about responsible stewardship of research data. Okay, let's start with our TAMU library services. TAMU Libraries Research Data Management Resources. You may or may not be aware that the TAMU Libraries has a research guide and research librarians who can assist you with research data management throughout the life of your project, throughout the life of your data life cycle. So I'm going to pull up this website here for you. Okay, and we're just going to start. So we come to our research guides. You'll find an overview of what research data management is. There is a full menu here of information, and you can also reach out to your librarians. They can help you find data. They can assist you with questions about the data life cycle, your planning and designing, going all the way through the life cycle, all the way to access and reuse, big hot topics, sharing and disseminating research. They can assist you with data management planning during your proposal stage. If you're working with a proposal administrator at Sponsored Research Services, you have questions about data management planning, your proposal administrator will probably guide you to the libraries for some assistance with that. They can have access to websites to share with you the different funding agency guidelines. I love that on their website here, they share the DMP tool. I don't know how many people are aware of the DMP tool. They not only share the tool website link, but they also have some instructions for you and a questionnaire for you here. And I'm going to go to this DMP tool website. There is, if you're not aware, they list the funder requirements. So you can find on here funder links for most of your federal agencies, if not all of them. Funder links showing what, when you go to the link, it'll tell you what is required for your data management plan. If a data management plan is required, it'll take you to information on sharing, their data sharing requirements. I found this tool to be extremely helpful. Going back to the library website here. So again, information on data management planning, data sharing requirements. They can help you with information on your data repositories, which data repository to choose, IRB language for data deposit, data anonymization. Some more information here. You saw this graph earlier on this picture earlier on the FAIR data. Additionally, they have data management workshops. So when you come over here, you go to your data management workshop, you can see that the next research data management workshop, they're going to be discussing the DMP tool. That's going to be on the 31st of January. So they have a whole profile of different workshops that they're offering, covering a range of topics, but several here are research integrity and data, managing sensitive data. The library is really providing a great service, great services and resources for our researchers here at Texas A&M University. Going to our next slide. In addition to that, services they're providing, the library is creating an institutional research data catalog. Very, very excited about the research data catalog, data at TAMU. This is actually going to be it's fantastic. So it is research project centric. So for our first pilot, or for our pilot phase, we're working with federally sponsored research. So what you're going to see is if you have a federally sponsored project here, once that project is closed out, the information will be transferred to this research data catalog. The research data catalog will also connect directly to your scholar's profile. If you have not updated your scholar's profile at Scholars at TAMU, the research librarians can assist you with updating that profile. So eventually what will happen is the federal research project information will transfer to the Data at TAMU research data catalog. It's going to be research project centric. We will be able to have your research project as it's transferred information to the data catalog. It'll have your project title, the description, the PIs involved, your college, the sponsor award number. And then that will have a direct link to your Scholars at TAMU profile. That will connect directly to your Scholars at TAMU profile, which will, if you are already keeping up with that, then you'll have publications on there, other research that you've done. If you've not been keeping up with that, maybe you were unaware of this service, your research librarians can assist with updating that information for you. The great part about this is, as well, is that we're going to be able to capture our compliance attributes that are required for our institutional requirements to meet compliance, our federal requirements to meet compliance. So we'll be able to collect, we'll know where your research data is being stored. We'll be able to validate that annually so that we are adhering to your federal sponsor regulations. We'll be able to meet our institutional SAP. But in addition to that, this will serve as a great platform for researcher discoverability and public accessibility. Again, going back to those FAIR core principles there, where we want things to be findable and accessible, interoperable, and reusable. The Data at TAMU catalog will also allow us to keep track of third-party access requests to your data, as well as if you are a researcher here at Texas A&M University and you're transferring to another university, we'll be able to keep track of ownership that way. So this is, again, we're in our pilot phase right now. We're focusing on federally sponsored research projects, and we are very excited about the research data catalog. And that is not an exhaustive list of services or explanation of the library services. If you have a request for services from the library, you can reach directly out to them, or you can go to the website, and they have a contact information for you there. So now moving on to the TAMU technology services. So going to TAMU technology services, just a couple of the resources available on their website. If you come over here to community, you will find IT tools. You may or may not be aware of this. And if you weren't aware of it before today, I'm really excited to share this information with you. Going to tools, you can go specifically to research. So here you'll find your data classification and research resources and your security controls catalog. You can begin a new data classification report for your research data. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I just wanted to be able to show you that this is available for you. Takes you through questions here to determine what your data classification is going to be. And then if you have any questions about, or maybe you have something that doesn't fall, your data that doesn't fall within this questionnaire, then you can reach out to your local department IT, and they would be able to assist you with determining what your data classification is. Go back here to available research resources. Going back to community. So we also have available resources. So Texas A&M provides numerous technology options to store data and files. These are going to be all of the options that are on this page are going to comply with the SAPs, the Secure Electronic Computing SAP, your Cloud Computing Services SAP. This is available to you. If you have more questions about these available resources, or maybe you have questions about which of these resources is the right one for you, you would be able to, again, reach out to your local department IT, and they would be able to answer those questions for you as well. So these are two great services or resources that are provided on the TAMU technology website. We also have TAMU IT policy. On their website, they have IT policy for Texas A&M campus. They have policy for federal regulatory IT compliance. They can provide answers for questions on laws and regulations or your IT policy guide. If you're interested or you have questions in looking at that directly there on their website, also your local department IT team can perhaps answer those questions for you, I'm sure, as well. And then we also have secure technologies for Aggie researchers. So STAR is a platform offering robust and scalable servers, storage, data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, secure data transfer, and data collaboration, along with many additional computing services, all while featuring enterprise-level security and cost-effective cloud solutions. I am going to go here to the STAR website. So when you go to your, again, TAMU Technology Services webpage, you'll find secure technologies for Aggie researchers. You can view the STAR system. The STAR system helps you. This is something that can go throughout the research project lifecycle with you. STAR is a service that is available across TAMU. Your departmental IT team can help you with questions on this as well. So those are two of our services. We have the TAMU library services. We have TAMU technology services. Just so much information provided on their websites that you may or may not have already been aware of. Hopefully, if you were not aware of them before, you're happy to see that they are available for you now. The next resource that I'm going to dive into here is the TAMU SAP 15.9903M103, which is the Responsible Stewardship of Research Data. So why is the SAP required? Well, to be honest with you, the SAP is going to explain all of that to you. Because Texas A&M University pursues the highest standards in the stewardship of research data in order to meet institutional responsibilities to federal and other sponsors, and to maintain the value of data for faculty and researchers, and to ensure that research is performed with integrity and the highest ethical standards. So, over the past several years, we've all been hearing about, or we are actively interacting with the regulations being set forth by federal agencies and state agencies as well, and industry partners requiring heightened guidelines for research data. So this SAP applies to all of our Texas A&M University faculty, staff, students, and others at TAMU involved in the design, conduct, and reporting of research on Texas A&M University funded and unfunded projects. The SAP is going to explain who is responsible. It outlines the assignment of responsibilities, procedures, and processes that will assure the research data is properly recorded, retained for the required period of time, and made available for review as obligated. So as obligated by our sponsors, as obligated by our departments, our institution. Who is responsible for the responsible stewardship of research data at Texas A&M University? The SAP outlines for us the responsibilities of the Office of the Vice President for Research. It also outlines for us the responsibilities of individual principal investigators, as well as dean, department heads, and unit heads of our colleges and departments. So some significant compliance aspects covered in the SAP that will also be captured by our data at TAMU, the Research Project Centric Data Catalog, are going to be the data is protected for the appropriate duration as per the sponsor guidelines and the institutional requirements, ensuring that data is stored in appropriate locations per your data classifications and required security controls, going back to the resources available by your technology services there. So you're able to, you can utilize those resources as well as reaching out to your local IT departments who might be able to assist you with that. Ensuring that our end of project data locations are auditable and updated to remain current. That is something that we'll be seeing captured in our data catalog, which is great because in the event that we are audited, we need to be able to know where that information is. If our end of project data is appropriately brokered and recorded, if we have access or we are receiving requests for access to data. Third-party data and service agreements covered as well. That's another significant compliance piece. If our data is being, if our faculty are transferring and research data is being transferred with them to another institution. So the SAP covers all of those aspects of the compliance piece of the data. So that was kind of a fast and furious overview of TAMU library research guides and data catalog resources available, your TAMU technology services that are available to you, and the SAP, the responsible stewardship of research data that is available to you, that you can, if you have any questions about those things, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, reach out to technology services or the library. You can also go to the web pages that I shared with you. And again, your IT, your local departmental IT department